Yeah, I had a rough week. I had a terrible week, loaded with work, pressure, deadlines, and I don't even know if I am going or coming. And in the midst of all this, I find that, remember the book we reviewed, yeah, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, yeah, Robert Kiyosaki. The Poor Dad, um, remember, he worked hard to earn money. He worked hard to provide for his family. He borrowed money to survive or to get himself that comfortable car. Whereas the rich dad never borrowed, and every cent he got, um, he was reinvesting it into the business. He lived a comfortable life, with his family, and his family, his spouse, his kids were together with him in his business plans, in his goals, in his vision. They bought into it, right? So there was that support. The the poor dad, right? He would be fixated on making things work for today, to survive for today. Whereas the rich dad was, some would say, stingy, but yeah, he used all his money to reinvest into his business. So he was more focused on the future, on the tomorrows. Ne? The poor dad, with his approach, more living, he remained in the same financial situation his entire life and continued to dream of being rich. Whereas the rich dad moved his family into luxury and wealth because of that approach that he followed, right? I'm saying this because there's a time where we need to make a trade-off more living. You know, if you're not comfortable in the situation you're in, the state of mind you're in, the hours that you keep putting on and you don't receive any rewards from it, or you don't see any difference from it, you need to start thinking of trade-off of resources that you need to make. Then there's this book called I Ain't Much Baby, but I'm All I've Got. Ne? It's a book by Jess P. Lay. He shares his success of finding himself and his true purpose in life. He was initially in advertising and doing quite well financially. He was successful but overworked and stressed out. Gamelo Matatu. He got a chance to evaluate how unhappy he was while being wheeled into surgery for a heart attack, and remembered his dream of being a college professor. After he healed, he sat his family down and told them that what he wanted to do is teaching. He sold his family agreed. Well, spouse agreed, was understanding with reservations. And then in the end, he sold his advertising agency and their luxurious home, and they moved to a farm, the other part of his dream. He enrolled in a nearby college, and in the end, Dr. Lair wrote this book, Yahore, I ain't much, baby, but I'm all I've got. So both of these two books, right, they're examples of people who temporarily traded off their comfort of success. Most people are unwilling to do this because of fear and greed, which keeps them living from paycheck to paycheck, barely earning enough to keep up with their spending, and slaves to money and their material possession. Do you really need the big house in the fancy neighborhood, or could an apartment in another neighborhood, which costs less, do just as well? Do you need the salary you currently make at a job that doesn't contribute to your goal? Or can you make trade-offs in your lifestyle to allow yourself to take that job that will lead you to success? We have bought into the American dream of owning our own home, driving an upscale car, and constantly spending to get more. The advertising industry pays its creative minds lots of money to continue to sell you this dream. You must shut off such messages that continually surround and bombard you. Learn to live by the beat of your own drum. I will later review the book ya gore I'm All I've Got. This is me, baby. King yeah, Dr. Le. I ain't much, baby, but I'm all I've got. It's a book. He ended up being a doctor, had his PhD, and it's something worth reading and considering. If you are in the same position as me right now, it's maybe time. There's an exercise that they are sharing here of making a trade-off. The first column, you write down your current situation, what you are currently dealing with, the activities that you are taking on a daily basis. The second column, you write down the possible alternatives, what you would rather be doing instead of these actual real activities that are taking place in your life. And then the third column is your plan of action. So you are weighing these costs on the first two columns. You're weighing the costs, you're weighing the options, the current activity to the alternative activity, and what your plan of action will be. So the table looks a lot like